Here. Be kind to children. They need opportunities in love to be successful. These citizens in training have no idea of the struggle that await them. Extend to them the gesture of sympathy, transmitting confidence in the harm and the humanity that you represent. Do not scare or mistreat them. Who could have imagined that the little boy in Nazareth, playing light-heartedly with the other children, was the builder of the earth, our model and guide? Não tem ninguém hoje mesmo, hein? Só tem nós mesmo. Be open to new ideas. Discuss them, compare them with what you know and think. Get the most benefit possible out of information that it's new to you. Healthy ideas renew the emotions and supply the feelings with stimulus and enthusiasm. Nobody is so wise that they do not need to learn more, or so complete that they can dispense with other contributions to their inner growth. Learn more and be receptive to new contributions. You should avoid the ingredients that excite the mind, the body, and the emotions. Soft melodies harmonize in good music, while others designed for juice and for lust and violence, preoccupied and change the rhythm of nervous system. Elevated readings instruct and educate, while extravagance and sensual reading material corrupts and change the value system for the worse. Help conversation lifts the spirits, while vulgar talk loosens the character. Spare yourself the wave of indignity that has taken over the world and people. Pode fazer a abertura? Good evening.
Tonight we're going to talk about the meaning of charity and the love according to Jesus. Chair Eduardo will do the lecture tonight. So let's start with a small prayer. God, thank you for the opportunity of being here tonight. And thank you for everything that you have in our life. Ask you to help us understanding all the teachings that you brought us 2,000 years ago, and we hope that we'll be able to capture all the information that our brother Eduardo will give to us in this lecture tonight. Thank you.
Amen. Tá ligando já? All right. Good evening. Turn the lights off for us there. It will be better to read in here. Thank you. Okay, tonight we are going to be talking about this subject that you probably have heard this before so many and many times. We have learned as well in Spiritism that happiness is relative to the level of evolution of individual. For some people to be happy or to enter the kingdom of heaven, they think they can disrupt themselves with a vest with bombs, and they explode it, and then exploded himself and kill other people. So pretty much he's wishing to them what he wants to himself. It's a crazy thing if you would think it like that. Today we're going to see the true meaning of this golden rule, how this work based on the teachings of Jesus. That's the title of our meeting tonight, the meaning of charity and love according to Jesus. How we change here, then is not changing. There you go. There was a few weeks ago, Daniel prepared a presentation for us. He was talking about the words that are inhabited by more or less evolved spirits. Beginning, we know that it's on a spirit's book and a gospel according to the Spiritism as well. This is the process of planet Earth as she evolves. We begin with the word with primitive word, and it goes to words of trials and expiations, which is the next stage that we are going to go through, and so forth until we get to divine planets. But what is that? What is it that we need to do in order to be able to understand better what Jesus wanted for us? What happened to us that we came from this planet here, now we are in here? The same planet has just changed the stage that we are in today. What happened to us that makes us change from the word of primitive word to the word of trials and expiations? There was a moment in there in time that we ourselves made this transition. As the same way it's going to happen to us now that we are here. We need to process this transition in order to get in here to the word of regeneration. By getting there, the only way is to learn Jesus' teachings. As if we take him as our guide and our role model, it's important for us to study what he meant when he said things, so we can learn, be prepared in order to execute that in our life when the moment comes. Pretty much is when we face daily life, every day, dealing with others, adversities of all sorts, with our families, our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, and so forth. Then it's going to be the moment that we're going to need to apply what we learn. It's what it's going to make us repair everything we have done wrong until now and preparing ourselves for the next level. On the Gospel according to the Spiritism, chapter 11, item number 8, he talks about the law of love. He says, love your neighbor as yourself. That's the title of the chapter 11. And then item number 8, it's the law of love. And he starts by saying this love sums up the complete doctrine of Jesus. That's what he came here to teach us. For it is the most sublime human sentiment. This is what Jesus came in here to teach us, the law of love. In this process of learning, God created us. It begins saying the sentiments themselves are a result of a transformation that we're going to go through, of instincts as a human progress follows its course. So pretty much it's going to be a transformation, a process of getting evolved, getting better and better. But we needed to know how that it's going to be processed in us. So we'll be able to be more aware of the situations when it comes across our life. So he begins, look how interesting this part in here is. At the very beginning of evolution, he's talking about the words of the primitive word, that slide that we saw in here, the first time we begin our reincarnation. Humans had only instincts. See, that's the number one. That's what the cave period men used for survival. He used to hold in his hand this long spear that when he was hearing a noise or something, he was getting all defensive, because he was his instinct. He was kicking in and telling him to react against that threat, which was an animal, and a big animal, or somebody else that wasn't there that want to kill him. So he begins with that. That was the first step. He begins to put in practice what we call the faculties within. So the next stage, they became more capable of sensations. So the instinct was kicking in, and he was reacting against that, whatever it was happening. As he was doing that, he began to feel something, to feel like he was the feeling of being strong, because he defeated this big animal. So he thought himself, oh, I'm good. See how pride already started getting within his actions right there. So finally, with more intellectual progress and greater spiritual refinement, humans reach a level that we are in here today, which they are capable of genuine emotions. So emotions, it's the number 3. Number 1 is instinct, sensations, and emotions come later, which will lead us to our future, which is the love. That's what Jesus came here to teach us. This is pretty much what happened to us when we are dealing with people every day. We are living on a planet that God created this for us. And in order to keep this organized, he put laws that govern this planet, such as the cause and effect and action-reaction, law of labor, and so many others. But today I want to focus on this law, the cause and effect and action-reaction. As you are dealing with someone, your instinct comes in and tells you, react against this action. So that's the law, the cause and effect and action-reaction. You are going to do so toward that person based on how you are feeling, the sensations you're at that moment. If you're angry, you're not going to put forward a good action, right? If you are feeling envy or jealous about something, or pride or anything, which is pretty much what we are this stage that we are today. That we know, it's like in the gospel, according to the Spiritism, it tells us it's easy to love those that love us. But what about our enemies, the people that we have hard time with, that we needed to deal with? That's the moment that the instinct kicks in and tells you, act against that. You're going to do so based on your feelings and your emotions. So if it is a necessary transition from this planet, from primitive words to the words of trials and expiations, that was the moment that we begin our journey by acting wrong toward others. First, we didn't have anything wrong. We just have instinct. We have nothing to do with just instinct, just to react against things. Later on, we begin the sensations. It's where our journey begins on the world of trials and expiations. Because you are putting in practice the wrong actions, so you have to repair all of that. So you have to go back to the place God is giving us the opportunity in order to do so. And the trials are the obstacles that he puts in front of us to test us, to make sure the instinct is going to kick in, and we're going to act with love toward others. That's why Jesus came here to teach us. Until we don't get this done right, we're going to be still coming back in here to this planet of trials and expiations. And guess what? The planet, it's changing, it's moving forward to the word of regeneration. And the planet itself, planet Earth, will not wait for us to change. If we don't make the necessary change in our arrangements to be in the next level, Jesus said that I will prepare a place for you, and you're going to go there. And also he said, for those that think they have some, For those that have some, more will be given. For those that think they have some, even what they have is going to be taken away from them. He was talking about the opportunities that's been given to us many and many times, and you are not doing right. So planet Earth is not going to wait for us. It's going to continue moving. But if you can't move together, we're going to go to another planet that can inhabit spirits like us that we are today. Does that make sense? It helps me a lot to think about my next, what I'm going to do towards someone. I think about all of this. That's the moment that we learn that we need to stop, we need to think about it before we act. Meditate about it. You don't have to answer right away. If someone does something aggressive towards you, it's okay, don't worry. Think about all of this. He is also, or she is going through this. He's going to have to learn it. This progress in here, it's individual, it's not a group of people. It's individual. You need to do your job. You need to do your job. Every single one needs to do your job. If you don't, it's not going to work. And then the finest and the highest emotion is love. He's not talking about romantic love that we heard so many times. Oh, love hurts. It doesn't. He's not talking about romantic love. He's talking about divine love. This is divine love in here. That means romantic love is most of people, they express that toward only one individual, not everybody else. And not even with that individual, it's pretty much, it has a big risk of not, end up doing right. So he's breaking up or whatever it is. So he's talking about divine love. Love towards to everyone. Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. So this is going to be the transition we're going to do from primitive words that we are here now, the word of trials and expiations. And the only way we're going to go over there is if we refine our faculties, be able to have a sensibility to understand others and to put actions, good and positive actions in practice. That's what Jesus wants for us. So this is just a clue for us to understand what this process means and how we are going to be able to finally do what Jesus wants us to do. So what it means to move from this planet of trials and expiation now to go to the next level according to Jesus. Have you seen this before, right? So many times. What a charity means according to the Spirits teach us. It means forgiveness, being indulgent toward others, and benevolent to anyone, to everyone. Have you heard about this before? Can you raise your hand if you did? How many people have heard this before? Okay. So do you know exactly what those words means? So let's see this better. So and then, as you practice this, so you're pretty much on the sublime of all the faculties, which is love. Do to others as you would have them do to you. This is very tricky because when we are living our life and the instinct kicks in, and we're going to put an action in practice, it's going to be based on how we are feeling. And I guarantee you, at least me, that I don't feel like this all the time, 24/7. I guarantee you that I do when it's easy and convenient for me to do, I do that. Towards my daughter, towards a lot of some friends that we close friends. But there's a lot of moments in life that I still not getting this right. I'm gonna show you why. So if charity, according to Jesus, means forgiveness, being indulgence, and benevolence. Indulgence, not the indulgence. There's another meaning of that word, not the when you indulge yourself, when you treat yourself, like with a massage or a gift or this or that. They're not talking about that. We're talking about indulgence according to Jesus. The first word, forgiveness. This is a word from Latin that means perdonare. There's two words together. The word per. What it means, this word per in English? When you go to the store, you buy things per unit. You buy things per pound, per kilo, per unit, right? So that means per, that means unit, one at a time. Donare, what does the word donare means in Latin? So the word perdonare means for, give, or donate. The word donare means donate. So you're going to donate to someone per individual what you have within. We give what we have within. They used to use these words in back then when Jesus was here. Their vocabulary was not rich as we are today. They use the same words for several things they want to express. Depends how they are putting that in on the sentence. The word forgiveness back then also would mean this, or the necessity of practicing this with someone based in love. What it means, when you're talking about forgiveness, I can forgive someone. The forgiveness, the fact that you need forgive, it's already a consequence of a primary cause, which is the lack of understanding others. When Jesus was on the cross about to die, what was his last words? Father, forgive these people. They don't know what they are doing. He didn't say, Father, help me forgive these people. If he would say that, he would not be a perfect spirit because he is still in need of trials. Make sense? So the true meaning of the word forgiveness, you're going to give to others what you have within. This goes back to the beginning. So the instinct kicks in, and you're going to react toward that action that someone gave it to you based on what you have within, based on how you're feeling. So if you are giving what you have within at that moment, if you're not, in a good moment, you're going to react with negativeness toward this person. You're not going to be doing the true meaning of this word. That makes sense? You see how it's easy for us to get ourselves in trouble? The word indulgence, that means inducere. That means two words together, inducere. The word in, he's talking about in, within, inside of us. The word ducere, many of us know what that means. The word means sweetness. It means sweetness where? Within. Toward others. That's what indulgence means. So in English, mean sweetness, to show our sweetness from within to those in need. Do we do this all the time? Who does? Raise your hand. See? That's where the trick is. That's the key, the answer for our problems. In the Spiritist community, we talk a lot. I hear people a lot of talking about inner transformation to make ourselves better. Many of them have no clue what it does means. But it is a start. The feeling then of necessity, it is already a big start. And then if you go deep and study more and more, you're going to get into this. This is what we call the mathematics of divine justice. And look at this part in here now. What it means to be benevolent towards others. The word benevolent comes from Latin. It means bene volare. It's two words together. Bene plus volare. Bene, it means, who knows that? Who can? Huh? Good. Volare, It means desire. So have a good desire to do good towards everyone. Isn't that amazing? It's unbelievable. So what it means to forgive others, to give to others what we have within, to be indulgent, to show our sweetness within. It doesn't happen all the time. And benevolence, desire to do good things towards everyone. So desire, the good and desire. If you go back again to the same thing, the instinct kicks in and tells you to react toward that person. 100% of the time, or 99.9999% of the time, we do not give what we have within in a positive way. We give what we have within based on how we are feeling. That makes sense? And this feeling, all the time, feeling of anxiety, depression, headache, what else? Hate, jealousness, what else? You name it, A to Z. But to those that love us, it's easy to practice that. The gospel tells us that. But this is the point that we need to pay attention when it happened to us. And this is when we are dealing with adversities. It's extremely important because if not, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. You never going to find out where you are making wrong. I remember when I was young, my mom used to tell me this, to be careful with your daily habits. They can become part of your life. If you don't know, have a sensibility to understand what's happening around us. Many people continue practicing wrong things every day. For them, it's normal. So that's happiness for him. But it's not. It's just going through an illusion. So individuals dominate by their passions, then are in the earliest stage of evolvement. This is on the Gospel according to the Spiritism, chapter 11, item number 8. They're talking about the law of love. Why they are dominated by passions? They are the early stage of evolvement. What he's talking about here, these passions. He's talking about earthly passion, earthly goods, that people are pretty much attached to it. The instinct kicks in. Oh, I want to have a desire of having more money, more this and more that. I don't care about the others. I just want to, I want a thing. I want this. They'll do anything. They will lie. They will manipulate people. They will do anything to get what they wanted. It's the feelings that it's feeding that person. It's still not yet developed in a sense. He can understand that what he's doing is not right. It's nothing to do with material things. Material things are good. You can have anything you wanted. It's what do you do with that when you have that. It's the problem. Because it's based on those three things: instinct, feelings, and sensations. They change very reluctantly. And only slowly came out of their shell. That's why Jesus taught us also to not point out defect in others without looking ourselves in the mirror, to not judge and condemn other people without looking ourselves, and so many other things, because they are also going to move forward in life. They will be good person one day. Their actions going to be good one day. So if you're sitting there just keep pointing out people, negative things in others, we're not doing anything pretty much to help ourselves. We are actually the opposite. We're not taking the opportunities, which is the trials that God gives us, in order to help us to become a better person, to polish these faculties within. That's the only way. So the spirit, you must understand, needs to be cultivated as you would cultivate a pasture. You have to do that for yourself. And the only way to do that is pay attention to your actions. and to pay attention to our actions. And if you know the process of getting this action in practicing, and put this action in practicing, it's good. So the instinct will kicks in and will tell you to react according in life, pretty much based on anything. That's the moment you need to stop. Take a deep breath and think about it. What are you going to do next? So in order to put this in a good way. So you're going to be cultivating your pasture, your life. All your spiritual welfare in the future depends on the work of cultivation you are doing now. If you reap what we sow, that's the answer. We need to stop planting the bad trees. We need to start planting the good trees so we can have good fruits. That's one of the teachings that Jesus also gave us. And the only way to do that is by understanding. And not by just because I'm standing here and telling you to. Because you now understand. That's where on the gospel according to the Spiritism, I can remember the chapter is now, to teach us what it means to be obedient and have resignation. Obedience, not by imposition. Obedience is give consent to reason. This is give consent to reason. If you practice this, you for sure going to be on the right path, on the path of righteousness. That's what we talk. More than any of your material achievements, this is the work that will take you to the glorious height, which is the spiritual practice, the things that it's good for our soul. We need to learn to discern between things that are impermanent to our lives against things that are permanent to our lives. Material things that give importance to that, it's not something permanent to our lives. It's just temporary. It's going to stay in here, everything. A spiritual thing, like taking care of someone, extend your hand towards someone in need, do good things toward others, practice those three things that we're talking about here. That is going to give you more, a better future. We are here today, and many of people that are reincarnated this planet today that you see out there today, that are going through very, very hard trials. Very hard trial. We call them misfortune people. They are cripples. They are, they don't have. They are mental disordered. They are physically incapable. Do you think that God creates that like that? Do you think they create them like that? He didn't. He creates everyone simple and ignorant. He gave to everyone the same begin, the same start, and He gave us the free will to do whatever we want. So we have to repair all the consequence of our wrong choices that we have put in practice in our life throughout several periods of reincarnation. To the point now that he did so much bad things that now he damaged his physical body. He had to go through that so he can recover. That makes sense? That's the only way we're going to move forward to the next level, to the next planet. As you come to understand the law of love, you will begin to experience the sweet delights of the soul. That's the only way. That's when we're talking about happiness nobody cannot buy happiness. It's an illusion, trying to buy happiness. Happiness, it's within. It comes within. It's a hard work. You have to put a lot of efforts to improve ourselves and to become a better person. And the only way we're going to do this, it's by accepting Jesus. It's the great start. Take Him as our guide and our whole model. It's a great start. So now, go on and study everything that He taught us. And make sure you understand everything so you begin to practice, to execute that in our life. That's the only way. And then you're going to experiment the sweet delights of our soul. Then, does that make sense? That's the only way. And these delights are preludes to your heavenly happiness. We know planet Earth, it's not happiness does not belong to planet Earth. because we are here on a world of trials and expiations. But it does begin in here by acting right towards someone. Then you're going to feel the delights, the preludes of the delights of the heavenly heaven, the heavenly happiness. You will not feel and see happiness in the spiritual world if you don't do that in here now. A lot of people wait to get first to the spiritual world, then they will feel happiness. They won't. I'm sorry to break this down to y'all, but you will not. Happiness begins in here by step, by seeking to practice good things toward others, trying to do the real meaning of charity that Jesus wanted us to do. That's the only way. This is from the Spirit Lazarus. Was in Paris, 1862, when Allan Kardec was working on he was codifying the Spiritism teachings. The Spirit Lazarus came and taught us about the law of love. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. If you have any questions, we can talk about this later. And now we are going to go to the session of the passing. You're not obligated to go, but you are welcome to go. It's the lay on hands that we do. It's going to be on that room. We're going to be calling 2 and 2 or 3 and 3. Will you pray with me? Thank you so much, Lord, for this blessing opportunity to be here today. We learn now that how do we put actions in practice, and we are very excited to begin to execute what we learned here today. And we ask you, as we go through the session of the Passe, to give us strength and resignation so we can continue moving forward on this road of progress and making the right choices as much as possible. And when we don't make things right, we wanted to already to ask you to forgive us. But the thing is, we are trying. We want to do it right. And we ask you for your protection and your help. Thank you so much, God. In Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.